Welcome back to my channel that seems to have no identity. The more and more I go, the longer I do this, I seem to drift away from one reason or the other for making videos. Usually it's about guns, sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's just reviews about silly things that I buy. In this case, it's an RC boat, purchased from Amazon for right about 99 bucks, maybe a little less. Not a brand you would have heard of if you're a big RC guy, but nevertheless, this, what I can tell, DEERC, if you will, Challenger boat, that's a brushless setup, and it is liquid cooled, works really well. I've had some other boats like the Traxxas Spartan. Of course, that was extremely fast, but I've had a lot of speed control failures with that one, as well as it would tend to flip at really high speeds and half of it would sink. But this boat for 99 bucks, still being brushless system, comes with a LiPo battery. It's not very large, but it's big enough to where it's fun to drive, and quite frankly, the fact that it's self-righting on the water is a really big advantage. You don't have to go swimming for it. But to go over this boat, whoa, easy, broke the hull. The water pickup is right there on the bottom of the hull, so it's skimming across the water. It's picking it up really good right there. A lot of boats will have it on the back here on that fin, but I think that's probably pretty slick having it right there built into the hull. And then it has the discharge point, if I can get there without dropping it again, right there. You know, warning, don't touch that, because, you know, it's going to be hot. But this thing, as other reviews have said, it's extremely watertight, because I was out ripping it here on my leg, and I took that little plug out in the back there, and I also took the cover off and looked, but I didn't have a drop of water in there, not a single drop. So in general, what I'm saying with this review is, if you're looking at buying this boat off Amazon or wherever, I'm used to owning several RCs, and so I have rather high expectations. But I can tell you this boat seems very fast for what it is. It may claim to only do 30 miles an hour or so, but a boat this size doing 30 looks like it's flying around on the lake, shooting a rooster tail. And I didn't even actually flip it yet, even though it is self-righting. You can sit there and carve it, and it just rips, and it didn't even flip so I mean, it's a good handling boat anyway. But I don't know, I think it looks cool enough anyway. The remote seems nice, and I really like the fact that it has that LED lights button there in the middle. You push that at night and you can turn on I think they're blue lights up here, as well as red ones in the back. So while it's sitting in the water at night, the front will glow blue, and the rear will glow red in the water. But yeah, in general, that's what I'm saying is I like this boat, and I like it a lot. So what I'll do here is I'll pause the video, so to speak, and I'll take this cover off and show you what it looks like on the inside. So after turning this little lock lever, if you want, or what you want to call it, it basically will release the cover. When you flip those to the side, you can basically just pop this up and take that off. So obviously, same would go for the accessing the battery cover. You just give these a turn. There's a reason why I paused the video to do it, because I just can't do it with one hand, so we'll be back. So from here, this is all the further you need to go to install the battery. Said battery is right here. But yeah, this is taking that cover off and this off is the farthest you need to go to actually just get the battery in there to run it. And there doesn't appear to be an on-off switch. You just plug it in and it's ready to go. Much with any RC, I tend to turn the remote on first before plugging in the battery. That just seems to be a good standard rule. But next I'll remove this guy here, We'll take a look at the motor and steering servo and whatnot. All right, so this is kind of interesting. This is actually my first time taking off that part of the cover. Right there. Very easy to do, but very interesting. At first glance, it looks very neat. Very well set up. And even the way they have this liquid cooled done, and by the way, if anybody else is looking at that motor going, wow, that motor's just like open. It seems bizarre, but clean just the same. And what is more impressive to me is the way they have that liquid cooling run, how it actually runs through that aluminum housing. And they use that aluminum housing like a heat sink for the motor that's cooled by water. So that in itself is actually pretty neat. But this is something you might want to pay attention to, because as I was just looking around in here, I noticed something. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. This hose here, where it comes up from the hull, runs up the side, it goes up front and actually cools down the speed control as well. But up in the front there, you're probably not going to be able to see it. You're just going to have to trust me. This hose here, this one right back here, goes up to the speed control that's mounted here. That hose comes up and does a like 180-degree bend. It's completely kinked off before going through it. So I bet there's little to no water going through there at all. So to remedy that, obviously we're just going to take some of that slack and pull it back this way so it has a bend. So if any of you also own this boat, you might want to take a look at that, because I bet it's kinked. Mine is anyway. But pretty easy fix. But yeah. Otherwise, like I said, I'm rather impressed if you look at this water seal. I mean, it's double sealed. And like I said, it doesn't get a drop in there when I was using it. But like I said, otherwise it does look pretty clean in there. So I guess, aside from that kinked hose, this thing's been a good running boat. I mean, let's be honest here, it just looks like a little jet ski. So I guess that'll about wrap it up. Maybe I could include a video of me running it just for fun, huh? That might be appropriate. Forget to put the hood down and just yeet. Alright, like I said, I'll try to include a video of me running it at the end. We'll see. Later.